Namaste, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I know that a lot of you probably don't have yoga blocks or even a yoga mat. So just grab a blanket and your journal, and we should be able to handle this either on a carpet or a towel. But we're going to start off coming into a wide stance. In Tai Chi, we call this horse riding stance. So you can imagine that you're saddled up. Take your shoulders down your back and bring some weight into your heels. With your hips, you want to tilt your tailbone just slightly toward the earth so that you feel your navel pulled in and your core engaged. And we'll just take a few moments to drop in. So maybe you let your eyes close. Bring your attention inside. And just notice how you feel today, where you're at in your body, where your mind is, and where your energy levels are. Without judgment, just becoming a witness to what is. A huge part of this practice of yoga is just cultivating awareness, right? And in order to have awareness, a lot of times all we need to do is just slow down enough to sense things. Start to sense your breathing. Maybe you feel your legs working a little bit. Breath starts to deepen naturally on its own. And we'll go with that. And if you want to challenge yourself, just drop down a little lower, a few inches maybe. Expand your breath into your lower lungs. And feel the earth underneath you. Start to connect breath and movement. And cross your hands in front of you. Take a deep breath in as you slowly reach up. And as you exhale, lower your palms in front of you. Stay relaxed with your arms, shoulders. We'll continue this movement. To get a little grounding. You may have heard that term before. Grounding essentially is just dropping into the physical. Feeling the body move. Feeling the breath moving the body. These are all ways just to slow down. To drop into presence, which is where yoga begins and ends, in the now, in the present. Just a few more like this. If you're feeling strong and you want to go deeper, sink a little lower as you exhale. This exhale will take both hands to the earth. Slowly let your knees bend as you fold forward. You can bend one knee and straighten the opposite leg. Just checking in with the hamstrings. Finding some fluidity, some movement. Take a breath to come up halfway. You lift your head and your torso and extend straight out. And on your next exhale, bow forward. Again, with a little bend in the knees. Always do your best trying not to lock your knees out in any one pose. Relax your head. Taking a deep breath again, we'll come up halfway. Take your hands to your waist and come all the way back up to standing. We'll turn the right toes out and let the right knee bend. Maybe widen your stance a little bit. We'll try out Warrior 2. So Warrior 2, your hips point forward. The right heel, which is the knee that's bent, lines up with the middle of the left foot. Torso is nice and straight, long. Arms come into a T. You breathe over your right shoulder, which is also the leg that is bent. Find some ease. Ease can just mean a little bit of movement so that you're not stiff in any pose. There's always room for some flexibility, some fluidity. Take your right palm, turn it toward the ceiling, and reach up. Bring your left hand behind your lower back. And with the right arm, keeping the right knee bent, stay in your lunge. Reach toward the wall behind you. This is Reverse Warrior. Stay connected to your deep breathing. Take one more deep breath to reach a little further. And as you exhale, come back into your Warrior 2. Arms in a T. On the next exhale, bring your right forearm to your right thigh. And without dumping your weight into your right leg, stay strong through your torso. Reach the left arm opposite of the left leg. Press down into the outer edge of your left foot, strong. And if you want to challenge yourself more, reach both arms forward. A little bit of shaking is good. It means your body's moving, working in ways that maybe it hasn't in a while. On the next exhale, place both hands on either side of your front foot. And we'll step the right foot back to meet the left with both hands flat on the floor. Let your knees bend and widen your feet a little bit. Pull your navel to your spine. And let your heart melt toward the earth. This is downward facing dog. In Sanskrit, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take a breath in, moving forward to plank. This takes quite a bit of upper body strength. And if you're not quite there, you can bring your knees down, lift your feet. This will create a modification that won't be as intense, but it'll still cause you to engage your core, which is an important part of this posture. So with knees bent or legs straight, we're going to come down through a Chaturanga Dandasa. Keep your elbows close to your body as you lower to the earth. Come all the way down. Take a breath. Press your hips into the floor, lift your heart and lift your shoulders for a cobra pose. Without the use of the arms here. Bhujanga Padasana. If you want to go deeper, straighten your arms for upward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Look up toward the ceiling. Take a breath. As you exhale, press into your hands, send your hips back into child's pose. Sink your hips all the way back, the elbows come down, and you could relax completely. Finding that still point. Remain connected to your breath. So within each of these practices, we're always finding a balance between the effort of being in a pose and then the relaxation that comes from not being in a pose. And this just offers us a deeper perspective into what it is to let go. Let's come forward into table, all fours. Extend your right leg behind you. Press into your right palm, or if you have any wrist issues, you can do this on your right forearm. Reach your left arm forward. Draw the navel in. Reach out through the fingertips of the left hand. Press out through the right heel. We'll engage the core on the exhale. Bring the elbow and knee underneath you. Touch them together. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, draw it in. Let's do two more. Inhale, reach. Exhale. One more time to reach. Take your left hand down and step your right foot forward in between both hands. Okay. Stagger your feet so that whenever you look at your right foot and your left knee, they're not in line with each other. It's more like train tracks, one on each side. That way you can keep your hips square as you come up to balance. Send your hips forward and down. And try to make sure that your right knee doesn't shoot past your ankle. If it's getting there, then just move your right foot up a little bit to deepen the stretch. When you're ready, we'll breathe both arms up on an inhale. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms toward the ceiling. Lift up through your heart and lean back. Stay with your breath. And on the exhale, come back down to the earth. Press in your left hand to the mat. Breathe your right arm up into the air for a twist. Option here, slide your left knee back a little more. Spiral open the right shoulder toward the ceiling. Another option, you might lift your left foot and reach back to catch hold. And whenever I say option, that means that if it works for you, then go for it. If it's too much at this time, don't worry about it. Do what you can do. Be where you're at. Don't hurt yourself. And don't judge yourself. And the exhale will come back to center. Walk your hands over to the left. Tuck your back toes. Lift your left knee. Sinking your hips over to the right. Skandasana. I like to call it ninja stretch. Walk over to the other foot and change sides. Switch again slowly, with control, with breath. Switch. And come through center. Back into a wide leg forward bend. Take a breath, come up halfway, lengthen your heart, lift your head. Fold forward. See if you can get your fingertips in line with your toes. Pressing both hands into the earth, the crown of the head draws toward the floor. Inhale halfway up. Take your hands to your waist and come all the way back to standing. Turn your heels in just a bit. Let your knees bend, coming back into horse riding stance. Okay. Find some ease, some buoyancy. We'll breathe in and reach up. Exhale to lower. And as you breathe, you want the breath to guide the movement. So inhaling at the very top, the hands come together. The very bottom of the exhale, hands are lower. Inhale. Slow down your breath. Slow down your mind. Free of judgment, right? Just moving, just breathing. Very simple. Take your hands back to your waist. Turn your left toes out, perpendicular to the top edge of your mat. Right heel will press back so that the right edge is parallel to the back of the mat. Both hips point forward, straight out. Left knee draws over the left ankle. Arms come into a T, warrior two. Breathe over your left shoulder. And find some ease. Maybe at this point you're starting to feel a little heat rising in the body. This is one of the ways that yoga cultivates purification, by generating heat in the body. Turn your left palm up. Stay low in your lunge. Right hand around the lower back, left arm reaches up and back, reaching toward the wall behind you. Press into the outer edge of the right foot. One more deep breath, reach. Back to warrior two. Take your left forearm to your left thigh. Without dumping your weight, just keep it there for balance. Right arm sweeps around, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot and reaching through the right fingertips. Long stretch through the right side of the body. more deep breath. Exhale, place both hands on either side of your left foot. Your back heel turns up. And step it back to downward facing dog with the knees bent. Hips lift, navel pulls toward the spine as the heart melts toward the earth. Breathing in, come forward into plank. Remember, knees on the earth is an option. Keep your elbows close to your body as you lower down. Taking a breath, lift your heart, shoulders without using your arms. Cobra. If you want to take it deeper, straighten both arms and lift up for up dog. Exhale, come back down. Press into your hands. Lift your hips. Table pose. Deep breath. Exhale, Balasana, child's pose. Sinking the hips back. Elbows come down. Head relaxes against the earth. Inhale, come forward, table. Extend your left leg out, hip level. Pull your navel to your spine. Feel your core engage as you reach your right arm forward. Might be a little tricky to balance, but if you fall over, that's a good thing. It means you're testing your limits. And that is a part of this practice. Is riding the edge between too little, too much. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee together. Strong core. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, reach. 2 more. And let your breath move you. Strong exhale. Right hand forward, left foot forward. Stagger your left foot and your right knee to rise up, balancing in a bent knee lunge. Hips point forward, torso is lifted with the breath in, reach both arms up. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms toward the sky, take a deep breath. One more full inhale. Exhale to lower. Right hand presses against the earth. Breathe the left arm up to twist. Spiraling open the left shoulder toward the sky. Option here, reach for your right foot. Keep the left shoulder open. Exhale, lower. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the right knee. Bring your feet parallel, more or less, to one another and sink your hips over to the left. This time try raising the right toes. Walk over to the other foot and switch. And switch. more. Switch. Back to center with feet parallel, legs straight without the knees bent, fold forward. Relax your head. Come up halfway, breathe in. Bring your hands to your waist and we'll return to standing. Turn your heels in, let your knees bend. Find some buoyancy, some ease. Horse riding stance. Cross the hands, breathe in. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach. Good. This next one you can use your blanket for. What you'll do is roll the blanket so you get a little bit of a lift for the heels. Place both heels onto the blanket wide. Toes point out slightly. Bring your hands together at heart center. And then slowly start to lower. Coming into Malasana, yoga squat. Right? So here, heels are firmly grounded. Elbows press into the knees, knees press into the elbows. Try to make your back straight. Take a deep breath. Very good. Place your hands on the earth and we'll come to a seated position. If you want to use your blanket to sit on, you can. Find a nice way to make it a little cushion. And from here, you'll take both feet together and let your knees come apart. Sit up tall and place your thumbs right about at the root of your big toes. So just below the big toes. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine forward. And with the exhale, slowly go forward without having to push yourself, right? All of this should be done in a relaxed way without pain, right? You can always think of it just as one breath at a time. In other words, if you get too caught up in what you think you should be doing, where you think you should be in a pose, your mind has created some expectation, which is a form of future thinking. You want to stay in the present, you want to stay in the now and be where you are, because that's how you stay connected, right, to yourself, to your body and your breath. And that is what yoga is, cultivating that connection to presence. Slowly start to rise up. Let's try out boat pose. Bring your knees together. This is actually a balance. So we'll place both hands behind the knees. Lift one foot at a time, or both. Squeeze your legs together. Lift your heart so your back's straight. Balancing with the strength of your core. Relax the shoulders down. You can challenge yourself by lifting your legs higher or reaching your arms out. One or two more breaths. Sometimes in boat it's fun to go fishing. Take one more deep breath. Bring your feet back to the earth. And you can make your way to lying on your back. Bring your arms alongside your hips with your palms pressing into the earth. Your feet are flat on the mat with the knees bent. Bring your feet 6 inches apart. Press your lower back against the floor. Press your navel to your spine, your belly button to your spine. And start to tilt your tailbone upward. Lift off the mat slowly from the tailbone, the lower back, one vertebrae at a time, middle back, and the upper back. This is bridge pose. It's a back bend. It also helps to strengthen your glutes and your hamstrings. If you want to challenge yourself, try lifting one foot toward the ceiling. And switch sides. Both feet down. Take one more breath to lift up through the hips. Feel your glutes engaged. Pull your knees forward. And on the exhale, we'll come back down slowly. Take both knees into your heart. Lift your head and your shoulders. Wrap your arms around your legs. And from here, this can be a good place for a blanket. From here, take your blanket on your left side. Keep both eyes pointing straight up and bring your knees over to the left. Thighs will rest on the blanket for a little extra support. Arms can go out to the floor in a T. And turn your head over your right shoulder. You could also use your left hand to just press the right knee into the left. Easy spinal twist. Breathing in, come back to center with both knees. Exhale, change to the other side. Head turns over the left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Take both your hands on your outer shins with your knees out wide. You could also grab your outer edges of your feet or even hook your big toes with your first two fingers. Happy baby pose. Here you want to keep your back, your lower back as flat against the floor as you can. Draw your knees towards your armpits and have some fun. It's happy baby, remember. So that could mean rock side to side, straighten one leg at a time. Just what feels good to you. You know, it's always a good thing to practice when moving in yoga. Moving in ways that feel good, right? Let's release both legs, and if you want to use your blanket and take our final pose, which is called Shavasana, or corpse pose. So bring your blanket underneath your knees for a little extra support. Your feet are a little bit wider than your mat, with the toes pointing in opposite directions. Arms come down beside you with the palms turned to face up. draw your shoulders just a little bit closer together underneath you so that the front of your body can soften. So in this pose, all the poses come together in final relaxation. This is where you can finally let go of your practice, let go of your deep breathing, and just give yourself this time to be still, to rest. Now slowly start to wake up just by moving in small ways, moving your fingers and your toes, rotating your wrists and your ankles. And by all means, if you do need like a few extra minutes, you could always pause the video and take a few more in corpse. Otherwise, we'll stretch out, reach both arms overhead, bring your feet together, take a long, deep stretch, bring your knees into your heart, rock side to side, and rock yourself over to one side, curl up in a fetal-like position. So there's a certain symbology with corpse pose, like at the end of your practice, you're letting go of everything, right? And whenever you do that, as you come back to life, you take with you what you need and let go of what's not serving you. So, with that in mind, press yourself up to a seated position. Find your blanket and set up for a little meditation. If you need to put your back against the wall here, that's fine. Cross-legged and in any way that is comfortable for you. Before we go into our meditation, we'll just take a moment to write down a journal topic for today. So grab your journal and your pen and write this down. I'd like you to reflect on some benefits of finding stillness in life. And whatever that means to you, right? Also, you could write about ways that you find stillness in your life, whether it could be prayer or walking through the woods on a hike, just getting away from the chatter and the intensity of energy that we're normally bombarded with. So, benefits of stillness and some examples of how you find that in your life. Okay. So from seated, we'll take the shoulders down the back. Rest your hands on your knees or in your lap. Find a tall spine. And you want just a slight tilt of your chin toward your chest. And imagine that there's a balloon at the top of the head, just lifting your head to keep a long spine. And let your eyes close. we'll take awareness back into the body, back to the breath. You may find that your breath automatically starts to deepen. Go with that, let your belly soften, breathe into your lower lungs. And without trying, just be. Be with your breath. If your thoughts are still all over the place, acknowledge them with kindness, and then guide your attention back to your breathing. You can think of it like guiding the attention of a child that's strayed or wandered off the path to just come back. And how would you do that? Gently, with compassion. One breath at a time. Take note of how you feel in your body physically, where your energy is, and where your mind is, noting that it may be different this time, checking in versus at the beginning. Without attachment to anything, just observing. You might take note of the earth underneath you, the support that is provided, and your connection to that. Keep coming to your breath. If you find yourself distracted, or if you find that your body's talking to you, deepen your breath a little bit. Strengthen your resolve to be still. Just about another minute or so. Remember the component of impermanence. That if you take things at one moment at a time, you can do anything. gently open your eyes. Bring your hands together at heart center. Rub your palms. And for a moment with your thumbs pressed at your heart center, consider gratitude for something in your life, whether it's the opportunity to be alive, or the opportunity to learn something new, or to be in a body that's healthy, or to have a roof over your head, or to have people in your life that care about you. Whatever it is, send out some gratitude to the universe. May you be light in mind, body, and spirit. May you be safe and free from harm. May you be free of fear, affliction, anger, and worry. Namaste. Alright, great job everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Just a quick reminder, what you put into this class is what you'll get out of it. So make sure that whenever you practice, you have a place clear of clutter, clear of distraction, and give yourself this time to be here for you. Namaste.